All right, let's get right into it. We're looking at a huge shift in who really holds the power in America. The data we're about to see suggests something pretty shocking, a corporate takeover of our nuclear future. And honestly, it looks like a massive strategic failure, one that could have some serious national security consequences.
Normally we build up to the big conclusion, but not this time. The source material here is so alarming, we have to start with the bottom line. This isn't some slow motion problem. It's a full-on surrender.
And the numbers don't lie. It's pretty clear the US government has, for all intents and purposes, just walked off the field. They've quit the race for our nuclear future. And when you leave a power vacuum that big, well, somebody's going to fill it. And they're filling it fast.
Okay, so this is where it gets wild. Look at these numbers. The government's entire 10-year plan. All that money? It's basically a rounding error for what big tech is willing to throw down in just 1 year. All to power their AI dreams. It's not even a fair fight. So let's really dig into the scale of this gap. I want to be clear, what you're about to see isn't some far-off projection. This is what's happening right now.
I mean, just look at this table. The mismatch it's staggering. It doesn't matter how you slice it. Total cash, what they're spending each year, how fast they're moving. The government isn't just losing this race, they're not even in the same league. It's a total knockout.
Let me put this in really simple terms. For every single dollar the government puts on the table each year, big tech is ready to slap down somewhere between 37 and 74 bucks. You can't even call that a gap. That's a canyon.
And this is where it starts to feel completely absurd. A single deal from Meta, just one, is worth more than the government's entire 10-year plan. Think about that. Microsoft restarting one plant, that's more cash than 5 years of federal funding. It's insane.
So you have to ask, right? How did we get here? Well, it boils down to two groups living in completely different worlds, running on totally different clocks. Their motivations couldn't be more opposite.
Just look at this timeline. For big tech, the clock is ticking, and it's ticking fast. They have an insatiable hunger for power, for AI, and there's a huge Russian uranium ban hitting in 2028. It's a hard deadline. They need juice, and they need it yesterday. The government, their timeline is, well, it's a big question mark. Maybe sometime in the next decade? Maybe?
And that brings us to the core of the problem, the fundamental clash in mindset. On one side, you've got big tech in pure survival mode. For them, it's build power now or we lose the entire AI race. It's existential. On the other side, you've got a government bureaucracy that's slow, cautious, and built to de-risk things for private companies. It's not built to lead a charge. It's a peacetime system stuck in a wartime tech race, and it is just not built for this.
Okay, so what happens when these two worlds collide? What are the real-world consequences? Well, what we're seeing is literally a new map of power being drawn right across America.
This all leads to a really uncomfortable question, doesn't it? When private companies are the ones building, funding, and ultimately owning our next-gen critical power, who's really calling the shots?
The reality right now is that a handful of corporations control almost 9 gigawatts of nuclear power. That is a huge amount of electricity, and it's all being funneled to their private data centers. They're essentially building their own private power grids. So here's the billion-dollar question. When a real national energy crisis hits, who gets that power first? You and me, or a data center?
And if you want to boil this whole thing down to one sentence, well, this quote from the source report just nails it. According to the analysis, this one line says everything you need to know about the scale of this strategic failure.
So, where does this all lead? According to the analysis, we're not heading towards some happy public-private partnership. No, we're heading towards a very stark, very clear choice. It's one or the other.
We are standing at a massive fork in the road, and the choice we make will have huge consequences for our national security. There's no more kicking the can down the road. The time for small, safe moves is over.
So here they are, the two paths laid out in the source material. Option A, we go big, a new Manhattan project. The government steps up, commits massive funding, and reclaims leadership on the world stage. Or Option B, we just get out of the way, formally hand over the keys to corporate America and let them build the infrastructure the government can't or won't.
So this is what it all comes down to. This is the standoff for the future of American energy. And let's be honest, it's a lopsided fight. One side showed up with a $2.7 billion plan stretched over a decade. The other side, they showed up with a $20 billion a year war chest. It's not a fair fight.
So the data really forces us to ask this one final critical question. Who do you want holding the switch to the nation's most critical power source? The government, representing the public, or corporate boardrooms representing shareholders? Because the answer to that is going to define America's security for the next 100 years.